Hi,
So hey, what's up? I
okay,
tried it.
can you hear?
I don't know if it's working. Oh no, I think it's working. hmm I'm just gonna use the notes from before. I guess topic 1.
Okay, copy one.
Do you want me to start?
Yes.
So, I mean, for me, what it all comes down to is there are options for moving forward as a team. So one option would be, getting agreement on the budget, and then, getting focused on work and moving forward normally, right? So, I mean, that's what I would hope for is we would have agreement on budget, we would move forward, we would get work done, we would
Please, are you recording already?
What's going on? What's wrong?
I said, are you recording?
I mean, I thought I was recording. I don't know. I guess I could probably double check here. Let's see. So we log on again. See if it's recording. It should tell us. Yeah, I think the live streaming is on, and I think it's good. Cool.
Okay.
So as I was saying, I think one option is just like getting agreement on the budget, getting focused on the work, moving forward normally, and doing work output as is expected, which would include, deadlines and things like that. So option number 2 would be, basically just dissolving, paying everyone fair rate based on client work output and firing everyone and ending this nightmare, right? Ending this, right? So that would be another option. I would say option 3 could be just like stopping now and then getting everyone paid afterwards. So I think that is what I was talking about, that you think is not, may not be legal in certain places, but it's not necessarily illegal. So I'm really not sure what other options there are. I mean, option 1, getting the agreement on the budget and moving forward, which may or may not involve firing people, but I think that we should be able to get agreement on the budget. Also, I was looking at the budget voting, and you seem to be the only person who's voted so far who's completely against every other possible option. So you voted an 8 on option 1 and a 3, 2, 2, and 1 on all of the other options. So you voted yes on option 1 and no on every other option, which is extremely extreme. Every single other person also voted yes on option 2, except for you. So you're by far the most extreme voting in relationship to trying to get some type of compromise. Yes. And then you were saying that you're just getting tired of revoting. I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired of working my ass off 40 to 60-hour weeks every week to create an entire new organization because all the work I had done for years and years and years was obliterated. And then no one else wanting to do any work. And then so I have to do all the budget. I have to do all the taxes. I have to do all the finances. I have to do all the banking. I have to do all the sponsorship. I have to do everything. And no one else is doing nothing. So I'm working 56-hour weeks trying to hold everything together. and you are concerned about having to vote again. So that's my perspective. Check.
Okay, I'll I will start. Okay. My own why I'm upset right now is that I think you're the owner of the company. At least you're the
No,
center
you are.
here.
That is incorrect
Can I
information.
finish, please?
You
Can
are
I
an owner.
finish, please?
Everybody's an owner. Everybody is an owner. Say correct information then. That is
Okay.
incorrect. We're
I
all
believe
owners
that.
of the cooperative together.
Okay. What I'm saying is that I believe that you have power to bring back pay
I,
stop. If that
I
is really your problem,
don't have
I
power.
don't.
You have the power to vote yes on doing the pay stops. You voted against it. You voted to get rid of
My
the pay stops.
own vote, yeah, my own vote cannot count while others are voting it down. But if you really want it, why don't you bring it down instead of bring it
I'm
back?
creating an
Instead
entire
of
new
saying too
organization. I
much.
just told you, Sandra, I have spent 100 hours already while no one's doing any work. I'm spending hundreds of hours putting together an entire new organization that's based on pay stops. I'm already doing that. That's the fork.
To the best
We
of
have
my knowledge, yeah, to the best of my knowledge, yeah, is this issue of pay stop that style all these crashes here in FQN. I see you're not comfortable with it. Why don't we look for another strategy instead of staying here voting all and all without any conclusion? It's crazy. Like I don't like it.
exactly. I agree 100% with that. 100%. It's crazy. It's insane. We're going nowhere. No one's doing any work. I don't want to wait till April 8th, but at least on April 8th, it will be over and everyone will get fired on April 8th. So that is the only thing holding me together is that at least this nightmare will be over in 3 weeks. I cannot imagine waiting for 3 weeks for this nightmare to be over on April 8th.
So what I'm saying is, instead of because your hours are too much for workers, and they are not kids. Instead of staying here, saying it, yelling at workers, screaming off the roof, why don't you allow us to do the job? Because with your constant
Tell me what you're
talking,
going to do.
it's unlike you. It's unlike Americans have made so far. Why don't you give us space to work? That's what I'm
Let's do
saying.
it.
It's
What
really
would you like to
annoying.
do?
It's not fair.
What work would you like to do? That sounds great. You want to do work? Let's hear it. What do you want to do?
I want to do work, yes.
What
I want us to get done with this budget of 18 so that we can create more room for
But
work.
what is the work that you
I
want to do?
created
I'm asking
a
you what work you're going to do. Tell me the work you're going to do. Let's say you get
what?
5 hours. What are you going to do for 5 hours? What is your work? What is the work specifically that you are going to do?
Hydra one. I was working on budget with Joyce and I don't mind continuing, but she said network is
What were
bad.
you
That's why
working
we
on?
stopped. Yes.
What were you working on? You
And
said you
I
were
cannot
working
possibly do
on
the
the
work
budget.
alone. That's why I stopped too.
Okay, but what were you doing on the budget? What is your work? What are you planning on doing for the budget? You said you were working on the budget. What is your goal? What is the outcome? What is your objective? What is the deliverable? What work are you doing?
We were updating 165 payload. That's what we were doing
Okay,
before
so you're
before
not working on
network
the budget.
call.
You're not working on the budget. You're working on the payroll. What are you working on? Just be clear.
I said previously we were working on payroll and budget. Payroll, sorry, I mistake it. Payroll, we were trying to update 165 payroll. That is what we were doing before.
Okay, and how many sessions did you do on the 165 payroll?
We did step 0 and step 1 before
Okay,
network starts frustrating and
one,
we have to end it there.
one session. Great. And how many sessions would you like to work on the payroll for 165?
4 to 8.
4 to 8 in the next like week or and how long?
Pardon?
How long? How many sessions you said you wanted to work on?
I said I want to work on 4 to 8 sessions
Four
per
to eight
week.
sessions on payroll
Yes,
per week.
yup.
Okay.
If
And
that's
then what is the primary goal in the next week or a week and a half? Like, what is the primary outcome? What do you want to achieve with the payroll work?
What I want to achieve in at least to get workers paid at least maximum of 2 weeks to meet the deadline, especially the client works.
Okay, well,
That's
that's
my
not payroll. So for the payroll, we're definitely not meeting the deadline. Like, there's no way. Like, nothing's happening with payroll, so it's not. We're not gonna be able to meet the deadline. We had the one session on payroll this morning at Hydra, which is better than nothing. So, but yeah, getting people paid, that would be called. It's called base upfront payroll. Do you know what the base upfront payroll is? That's process number 2. Does that make sense or not?
yes, I'm getting you. I think I've heard you said before. At least if we are following on the payroll, we're supposed to be getting paid at least 2 weeks, if I'm correct. I think I heard you say that one certain time.
I mean, people get paid for all of the work hours that were agreed upon, and then we need to make sure we're doing the bonus payroll and everything. But in the context of the um, client work, our base payroll is based on the client work still, right? So you mentioned that you also wanted to work on client work. But before we go into the client work, who do you think knows how to do payroll?
Joyce can, Ate can, as well
Joyce.
yourself,
Okay. Okay. So
yourself.
if we want to do payroll quickly, the best thing to do is making sure that Joyce, Ate, myself, and others who know how to do the payroll can get focused on it and work on it as much and as quickly as possible. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, Jay.
So I could go on and on and on about exactly how to do that, but anything that gets in the way from Joyce, Ate, myself, and other people who know how to do the payroll should be annihilated and gotten rid of as quickly as possible. For example, the fact that we don't have a budget prevents us from working on payroll, right? That's a huge, massive problem, right? Anyways, so yes, let's get the payroll moving forward. Let's schedule for the payroll. Anyone could have scheduled for Cobalt. Anyone could have scheduled for Andromeda. Anyone could have scheduled for Sonic. Nobody did. So we should schedule all these 4 to 8 sessions that you say you want to schedule in the next week. Let's schedule those immediately instead of waiting one session at a time. Let's schedule like 10 sessions, the whole week, 2 weeks even. Like, there's just no reason. Like, it's very unprofessional to have no scheduled priority sessions, right? We need more and more sessions if we're going to get work done.
Jay, do you know the problem I have? I was meant to understand that every client work requires your presence. How can I, the new worker, possibly do the client
But
work
that's not
without you being
true.
present?
But that's not true. Plus, you can schedule with me. So me being present is not a problem because you can just schedule with me. But either way, the
I've
problem is,
asked
like, I'm
you, I've
available
asked
today.
you
I'm
like,
available for football. I'm available for Sonic. I'm available for tomorrow. I'm available for Friday, Saturday. I mean, I work 6 days a week, almost 60 hours a week. So it's like I am easily available. The problem is no one's scheduling, right? No one's prioritizing the work. But there's lots and lots and lots of client work that does not
Jay,
require me to be present.
I've
And I can list
remembered
all of those
asking
down
you.
for you.
I remember that I asked you for many times to at least help me to share the responsibility organizing for clients' work. I've asked Joyce, he said you're the right person to give me the link. Why not giving me the link so I can go through it and schedule with you? I cannot just schedule with you without knowing what I want to do because I know you will
That is
get upset.
completely untrue. That is your own personal preference. If you are not willing to schedule because you do not know what to do, then you're never going to learn from me. Because everyone needs to schedule first.
I really want to learn, but supposing I schedule without having this responsibility, you're gonna get upset. That's my problem with working with you. You get easily
I
annoyed,
would
which
get
is so
much,
so so
much
bad.
more
I mean,
upset if people don't schedule. Not scheduling is a million times worse than not having the responsibility training organizing. A lot of responsibilities are anything under Vortex and the network. there's basically no responsibility training because none of this is, no one ever works on it. It's all new. Taxes, all the taxes can be done without my presence. I would say 90% of bills can be done without my presence, but to finalize the quarterly and fortnight bills, there is a check-in with the treasurer. Sponsorship, specifically the admin fees, can happen without me. Everything else, it can move forward a little bit, but basically nobody works on sponsorship except for me, so it's hard to do it without me. But after you keep doing it with me, you can do it without me, right? All of the assets and the finances, I'm required. That's just, except for maybe the monthly accounting report. I guess all of the reporting can happen without me, but people will still have to be able to know what the reports are and how to work on them. All of the executive support obviously requires me because it's executive support to support me as the executive. And then, I would say everything under SVG and UMBUS doesn't necessarily need me directly, but I'm obviously the best person to work on it, including all of the client outreach and the scope updating and the client relations and the client contracts. But a lot of this can happen without me, including invoicing, including, once we get the outreach set up, you don't need me anymore for that. But right now, we don't even have it set up. But none of these have responsibility trainings because no one's really taking it on. No one's even getting started with a lot of this work, you know? So it takes time to get work organized and moving through, but I'm paying people to schedule with me and work with me, and that's the problem, is it's not happening. If you don't want to schedule with me and work with me, you're not in the right place. That's what we pay people to do. Real-time virtual assistant work is scheduling with me and working with me on the client work. That's what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if people don't
I
want to do
see.
that, they're not in the right place.
I see.
And
And
that's what gets me
again,
very upset, right? Is that
again,
people hire people to
what
work
I
with me and then they don't want to work with me. And of
so
course I'm
what
gonna
I
get,
want again is that I really want to work, but I can't stand a hot environment whereby you're working, someone is getting upset, someone cannot teach you. It's really bad. There's no point. There's no point to the best of my knowledge. I really want to do this work. That's why I applied for the first time. But me personally, I don't stand people talking down on others. Like getting upset over and over is out of it, to the best of my understanding. So if you said I should schedule with you, I am ready to do that. But if it is only three workers you want, because I can read from your message on Discord, you said you are willing to activate Lucy, Joyce, and Ate. That means the rest of us, you want to fire us. You can
can you,
go ahead and
no,
do that.
no, nobody said that everyone else is getting fired. They've only been deactivated. But can you think of any possible reason why I would ask Joyce and Lucy and Ate to work on taxes? Think of any
I
possible reason.
I think because you felt they know it very well more than others.
Yes,
Yes.
they do. They know how to do the work already, and they choose not to do the work, right? At any time over the last month, Joyce, Lucy, and Ate could have finished all of the taxes work. It's not even that much work. They could have done it. They chose not to. They're just screw the taxes. I don't care. Who cares about it? That's what they chose to do over the last 3 weeks, the month, right? So that's their choice. They chose to screw over the taxes and not care and not even schedule a single session on the taxes. Why would I be upset about that? Specifically today.
I think to the best of my knowledge, I think they really want to do. But those words you're saying is not
No, they
correct.
don't want to do it.
Like
They would have
it's
done
not
it if
making
they
sense to
wanted to
me.
do
Sorry
it.
to be
They
saying
didn't do it.
they are not ready. They don't want to do it. They really
Of
want
course
to
they
do
don't want
it.
to do it. They would have done it.
Preventing them. My opinion here is that you should allow them to get work done,
But
including
they
myself.
had
Who
2
wants
weeks
to work?
to do the work and they didn't do it. Sandra, you don't understand that, do you? They had 3 weeks to do it since they got rid of all the deadlines and they didn't do it. How long do people get? How long do you give someone to do the work? How long, okay, let's say you decide to pay $8,000 a month to people and then they totally screw you over and they don't do any work. So now I have to go pay thousands of dollars of penalties and fees to the government because we don't care about the deadlines anymore. Do you understand? You just don't get it.
I get it.
So how would you feel if you paid $8,000 of your own money and the hard work that you've worked for in your business for decades, and then you hired 10 workers and they didn't give a crap about the deadlines, and they got rid of all of the deadlines, and then instead of doing the work, they chose not to do the work, and now the deadline is happening and you don't even understand it. You have no clue. You don't even look at the deadlines. You could care less about the deadlines. You and all of the workers do not give a crap
We
about
give
the deadline.
we give
I
a Jay.
then
We
you would
care.
be the
Don't
one,
don't
you would
speak
be the
for
one
me.
talking about it, not me. If you care
You
about it,
don't
you're
speak,
talking about
okay,
it, not
me personally, don't speak for me. You're not in my heart. You don't know what I care about.
me. What
So
are the
don't
top
speak
10
for me that
deadlines?
I don't
What
care. I
are the top
care.
10 deadlines for the organization right now? What are the top 10 deadlines? What are the
The
top
main one we are focusing is April 8th. That is the main
Yeah,
one we are focusing on,
that's
right?
a joke. That is a joke. That is just nightmare scenario. April 8th is the end of this nightmare. That is not a priority at all. That is just the end of the nightmare. So if you had any care for the deadlines, you would know at least one deadline, and you don't know any of them because you don't put any effort to trying to know the deadlines or to get the work done by the deadlines. And neither does anyone else because we got rid of all the deadlines and no one cares about them. In fact, everyone purposely attacked the deadlines and annihilated the deadlines. That's how much they cared about the deadlines. Right. And so now I have to pay for it. I have to pay thousands of dollars of fees because we don't do the work. And I need to go right now because I need to actually go work on the work because no one else is doing it. So I have to do it all myself. That's why I asked
James,
Joyce,
if
and
I
say,
understand you correct, if I understand you correctly, why still mentioning deadline? The last time I said about deadline, you said since there is no pay stub, no deadline. Isn't what you said last time?
I don't know
Isn't
what
that
you're
what
talking.
you
I don't understand what you're talking about. Under
said?
under the new policy that the policy was to remove all pay stop deadlines and that we were going to get more work done and all the work done is going to get done before the deadlines. That's what the policy was. That the pay stop deadlines were not necessary and that we were going to get all of the work done by the deadlines anyways. And it was all a bunch of crap. Nobody's trying to do anything. None of the work is even being attempted to get done. And you are just yelling at me. Everyone wants to yell at me. I'm the only one who cares about the work of the organization. Nobody else is even attempting to do any work. Everyone knows the team's not doing crap. No work's getting done. And everyone just yells at me because I'm the only one who seems to care about it.
People really care. You're the ones scaring them away.
No, if people cared, they would get the work done. Since they're not getting the work done, that's the definition of not caring. Do you know when the deadline is? If you don't, maybe you
You
should
said
ask.
there are there are a lot of deadline that I'm seeing on the team deadline, fortnight tweaks. There are a lot of deadlines I can see here. So
Okay,
which
but
one is
the deadline that we're talking about is the taxes deadline for freaking tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Okay. Okay. So I feel very uncomfortable even talking about this. I absolutely hate this situation. I want to leave. I don't like it. I feel like I'm being coerced against my will to basically help you care about something because you don't want to do it yourself. I should not have to tell you what the deadlines are. I should not have to ask anybody to do work. The work should be getting done and it's not happening. So I'm scream and yell as loud as I can and I want to say every single bad word I possibly can and you are think I'm stupid because of that and you tell me that I'm a horrible person because I'm freaking upset so much because no one is doing the work.
Don't you think yelling doesn't mean anything? Like it
Sure,
doesn't
but I'm done
contribute
talking
anything.
about it. I'm done talking about it.
Yelling
I
does not
do the work myself
contribute
because no one else is doing it.
anything.
Like I shouldn't have to say anything. I should be able to keep my mouth shut and the work should get done. And that's exactly the opposite of what's happening. If I have to open my mouth, I'm upset because the work's not getting done. If you're taking the work seriously and everyone's taking the work seriously, I shouldn't have to open my freaking mouth at all because the work is getting done. Instead, little to nothing's getting done. And so the fact that I'm even opening my mouth and having to talk about the taxes deadline makes me very upset. Do you understand? I should
I
not
do.
even have to talk about it, period. There's no reason to pay anyone to do work if they're not willing to find the deadlines, get the deadlines done, make sure the work is happening by the deadline, and then moving forward and supporting the organization. If they're not willing to do that, then I'm just not interested, because it should not be up to me to open my mouth and tell people that they're not doing the work. It's that simple. And if I'm not allowed to be upset about the work not getting done and me having to pay thousands of dollars of fines because of it, then I don't want to work with these people, because I have a right to be upset right now.
I'm seeing IRS account for verification. I think you're the right person to do the verification. Can any other workers do that?
I don't even know what it is that you're talking about. What is this that you're talking about? Can you link it on the topic one or something? Like, I don't understand.
I'm coming. I've linked it, line 65.
Okay, so
Topic one.
USCOB, as I've said for like the 20th time, is not applicable. That is just not a deadline. It's not, no one needs to do it.
Yeah, I saw it as deadline. Is it done?
Okay, it's wrong. If anyone puts anything related to USCOB has been dissolved, it doesn't exist, don't do it. It's not applicable. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So our deadline, I've literally said that 20 times and nobody updates it. Nobody seems to want to update the deadlines, keep them updated. So I'll probably end up saying it 25 times and then 30 times and saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And then I'm not allowed to be upset about it. Do you feel like people have a right to be paid and be basically that, you know, nobody is allowed to be fired? Like, I mean, I feel like the whole situation we're in, where like the idea that as organizations forced to pay $8,000 against its will and like no work's happening, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's great that you want a job personally, but do 10 people really get a right to work and force $8,000 budget with no work happening? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's too much money.
No one, to the best of my understanding, no one has the right to get paid without doing the work,
Yeah, and the work's not
right?
happening. We know
No
the work's
one, and no one is asking for pay. We just want a peaceful ceiling for us to keep on the work going. Simple. It's not too much to ask.
Everybody wants lots of pay. They want $2,490 of back pay, which is what you voted for. That is unbelievable amounts of money for the amount of work that's getting done. Right? You're getting paid like $11 an hour based on our calculations. Right? Like,
I never requested for $2,000. What are you talking about, please?
your vote, the back pay, right? You voted for option number 1, which is $2,490 of back pay. Which
To
is
be
basically,
split among workers, right? Not
yeah,
as
for
if it's an
not
individual
completing the
pay.
work.
It's not
Exactly.
an individual pay. And again, I really have issue with this back pay. Could you just maybe to eradicate it, maybe it's better, because why do we go ahead making statements to get the rest in back pay? Then when
Because
someone
you're not
requests for back
doing
pay,
the
it
work.
become a
What it means,
problem. So
what it
it's
means to do
part of
back pay is that if
disagreement
the back
and
actually
corruption there. It's
owner
really injustice
means
to the
you're not
best of
doing
my
the work.
knowledge. Corruption, or will I say is a kind of luring people to do job. Why will you say we should make a statement, and when people try to claim what they think is their right, you
Because
have
I
issue
would
with that?
prefer you I would if you want to be paid upfront pay and we are on pay stop, I would prefer you not to work. Do you understand? Like if you don't want the
I
back
don't.
pay equity benefits and get ownership instead of upfront pay, then I don't want you to work. That's why you had to do a statement. And now everyone wants to get paid regardless of the work getting done. So now we don't get the work done and there's no pay stops because everyone gets paid even though the work's not completed. I'm upset about it because no one's doing any work and now everyone's getting paid their full pay. And it's outrageous.
Jay,
And
Jay,
before,
you
people
haven't been this
were not
upset.
paid to not work.
You haven't been this upset since I joined FQN. It since
Absolutely.
this pay stop.
Yeah,
Since
it
when
was
it started,
you
you
understand
start
consensus
getting
decision
upset
making.
every given time. You're not talking
Absolutely.
to people. It's wrong.
It's actually completely correct. Do you know what consensus decision making is? Do you understand the
Because
term consensus?
I yes, I do. I do.
I was kicked out of my own organization. I voted against it. I won. I blocked this decision as hard as I could, and I was overridden. We had to vote on it 4 times, and I was overridden. And now I have to do an entire fork and set up my own a brand new organization. And I did everything I could to stop this from happening, and I got steamrolled. Okay, so yes, I'm upset. I told everybody the moment it happened how upset I was. I was completely 100% against this, and no one cared. You voted against me. Everybody voted against me. So own it. It's your organization now, and you guys are responsible for nothing getting done.
The
I would be
one
happy
that
to
said
step
this
out and do nothing.
the one
I
that
don't want
said
to even
this
be involved
organization
anymore. But I sure
is
as hell
us.
am not paying
Totally wrong. You're the ones
$8,000
giving
for jack
us
shit
yes.
getting done.
Not
Say that again.
I said you're the one that set up this organization. So automatically, I don't know why you keep on saying it's not yours. You're the one paying us.
You
If
guys
we did not
voted
get
me
paid
out
from,
on February 24th. You voted me out. You went against me. You blocked and got rid of the core values of this organization that I had built. We reversed years and years of decision making. And then nobody stepped up to do the management. Everything's just
I don't
chaos.
know about
Nobody stepped
I
up
don't
to
know about that.
finish
The last
the
time I
deadline.
checked, we all agreed that Ate will be the
Okay.
manager for the old
So
world.
okay, so we have
Yes,
words. We have words. Ate Ate said words, and we all said words. Okay, so what has Ate actually done for management besides skipping 3 main sessions in a row now? What is Ate doing to manage it? What is one thing?
the last time we started this new world, he cooperated, he participated until you said we are not doing the job. Her last statement yesterday was she cannot come to a main session when you will say she's not doing the job. So
No,
those words are
that
scaling. They
I
are
said
bad
that
words.
she was
It's
not.
not
No
the
one
right
is
words to
required.
use. No one is
Nobody is
doing the job
required to
very
come to the main
bad.
session. No individual is required to come to the main session. One worker is required to come to the main session. Somebody has to come to the main session, but no individual has to come. As a team, we have to make sure the main session happens. Ate did not do that. And Ate is responsible for that.
Jay, I don't think Ate has any problem, has any fault in that. Like,
Thank you.
what is,
Not the,
sorry, permit me to use this word. What is really going on at FQN right now? In fact, you started it. I'm not taking anything personal here. You are the architect of this issue that we are having here. Because
no, but that's
last time,
not the truth.
excuse
I am
me,
100% against that statement. I am not the one who designed this model.
oh,
I
no,
am not
no,
the one who wanted to to
you
be
should
the
have said you
manager.
are not
I
comfortable with ending
I
this
was
stuff. If you
100%
say so,
against
we will
getting
not
rid of the
vote
pay
for
stub.
it. But
I
you
did
accepted when we
everything
vote for
I
it,
could
you
to prevent
accepted.
that.
So why is them
No,
giving us issue here? It's
it
really
makes me
bad, you
very
know.
upset. It makes me very upset to be told that I am the architect of this when you guys are the ones who voted for it. I voted against it. This is your doing. You're the one who architected this. You're the one who voted for it. You're the one who got rid of the pay stubs, and so did
Why
everybody else.
don't
And not
why, My question is, yeah, you should have said you're against it. We should
I
not vote.
did say
Why
that.
why
I
allowing
said
us
it
to
over and
vote
over and
for
over again,
it?
like 100 times.
Why, Jay, why do you allow us to vote for it when you know that you are not comfortable with it? The last statement Ate made here, he said for her safety, she did rather prefer not to work. It's not as if she did not want to do the job. Because of all these insane words you're saying, that's why she said she cannot do the job. So understand where this problem is coming from. And I suggest that you should minimize how you talk to people. We are no longer kids here. Okay, and for your own health, let us do the job till at least give us the grace of from now to April 8th to see what we can achieve. It's not too much to ask.
I think it's way too much to ask. $8,000? You want $8,000 from like somehow I don't understand this idea that nobody's responsible for the last month.
Besides, I
Like
don't
you
know
can
where
evaluate
$8,000 is coming from. Are you saying you pay your worker $8,000? Because I'm confused right now. I don't know where $8,000 is coming from because I've
again.
not received up to $1,000 from you.
This is a great question. So let's
Yes,
go
I
over it. So
want
this is
to.
the budget option that you voted for. You voted for budget option 1, right? So I'll put this right here, line 75. Budget option 1. So budget option 1 is back pay is $2,490. $2,490. Then we have the budget is $2,611 because no one gets fired. So this is the HR budget. Okay. Then you got the monthly benefits, right? Which is 1,311. This includes overtime. So this is monthly benefits. Includes overtime, includes internet reimbursements, all those fun things. Then you have the half year benefits, which is the $525, which we paid you $250 of our half year benefits, so that you had some healthcare support. And then we have bills and business expenses, which is $1,250. So this is the bills, right? So all together, that equals exactly $8,187. That's a lot of money to pay. Lot of money for little to no work getting done. I can't even list the client work. Client work gotten done this month. I don't know what client work has even gotten done for a month. I've never heard of anything like it at all. So internal operations, we've had minimal effort on budget agreement. So we don't have agreement on the budget. Minimal, maybe like 2 to 3 sessions on payroll for the whole month. I don't know what other work has happened in a month. I can't even like list the work that's happened in an entire month because it's so
And
little.
if
Like all I can list is
you
that we worked a little bit on the budget and we don't even have agreement on the budget, and we worked a little on
and
payroll and like little
why,
no
is delaying the
we did
budget,
one
this
session
45
on
degree budget? Why is delaying it? Because from my understanding, you're the one that is delaying this budget. Is it that you don't want us to have budget or you deliberately choose not to release the budget? Because I don't
I want
understand.
to fire
Why you
everybody. I want to
motivating
fire as many
crazy?
people as
You're
possible.
not upset. I am really upset more than you do because I felt that you're just doing this thing intentional, which is very bad. We are not
What do
kids here,
you
you know.
You didn't even understand what the budget was. You didn't even understand it was $8,000. Are you still arguing that the budget's not $8,000? Like, what are you arguing? I don't understand.
The $8,000 you made mention of, you've not released it, right? We are just proposing it. You vote down. HR board vote it down. We've not gotten the $8,000. So what the fuck are you saying? We've
This
not
is our
gotten it,
current
right? You
budget.
can terminate that
This
and
is our
let's work.
current. If we wait until April 8th and everyone gets fired on April 8th, this is the budget automatically. Because this is
What I'm saying right now is that I'm just saying it to your hearing. If you want to fire people, you can go ahead and fire me for all I care.
no,
But
I can't fire you. I do not
yeah,
have
no
the
one
power
fire
to fire
people
you.
without paying them. Okay, no, you don't just fire people just like that, empty-handed without paying them.
I
Of course,
can't,
we do
and I'm
have
not.
class. Right? You can't. You don't do such at all. It's not done. We are both exposed right now. If you want to fire, you can go ahead and fire people for all I care. I don't even care. But you make sure
If
you
I
pay
could, I
people,
would.
or maybe we
Like,
need to
I
face
would
the law.
fire
We should
anybody.
face the law.
If you
I
want to
don't
quit,
like
you
this.
can quit.
I don't know what you're saying because firing is that as if it's becoming a threat. Why don't you make it happen? Or let's go back to work. Let's just do the work and get paid. You're saying people like to get paid. Because
You're treating me like a child.
I
And
am
you
not. You're the
talk
one.
the way that
I
you're
am not.
talking. I am
Please,
a
you're the one
business
making it seem as
executive,
if your
Sandra.
workers are child.
Sandra,
We are
please.
not.
Sandra,
By
please.
law,
Sandra,
I have freedom of speech, right? By law, I have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, right? I am above 20 for crying out loud. So I have the right to express myself. You don't treat people like a piece of trash. No,
I'm
your
not
workers are
treating
not,
anybody
they
like a
are not
piece of
fit.
trash. That is obvious. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking here, okay? So, can I please explain how a business executive decision makes on the budget, right? Because you're not understanding that a budget is needs to make sense, right? Based on the work output. Zero work, as little to no work output means the budget needs to be cut and slashed, and we need to fire people, right? That is what needs to happen, right?
Why don't you explain this to your new worker at onset? At least it should be on the form, right?
It's all in the HR. It's all in the HR information. If you choose not to read
I
it and
know
understand
I'm
it,
just hearing
it's not
this.
the
I'm
problem.
just hearing this for the first time. Like firing
So then
people
learn
for not
about it.
taking their time.
Learn how budgets work. I'm trying to train people how budgets work, and people aren't paying attention to me. You voted against every single other budget except for option one. So your vote was that the only budget that you would possibly be agree with is the $8,000 budget. Every single other budget you voted no on. And you're the only person who did that. And you're telling me that I'm the one preventing everything from moving forward, right? You're the only person who's completely unwilling to compromise. Now, I'm not saying that even with these other votes that we're going to make any progress, because everyone else only voted for option two, which is still a disaster, right? We're still $5,000 in the red, and it's still a complete nightmare for the budget with no work getting done. But either way, it doesn't change the fact that you're the one holding up the budget
I
compromise.
am not. I am not because
Change
an
your vote.
individual vote cannot count. My
It
vote
does
alone
count,
can never
actually.
count. So what I'm
Individual
saying,
votes do count. If you don't think your vote counts, then you are not in the right place. I'm sorry.
what
Your
I'm
vote counts
saying is
a
that
lot.
my vote, a single vote can never count, Jay.
No,
Supposing I
actually, it
vote and
does count.
others vote down,
That's
mine can
exactly
never
the
pass.
opposite of the truth. Your vote does count. You individually can prevent the organization from moving forward. Absolutely. Your vote is very powerful.
Why are you finding fault on my vote? Others vote, right? Others
I'm
vote.
trying to
Me
get
too, I
compromise.
voted. And I was made to understand that one vote can never count. Okay, supposing where four people voted and one person vote, will one person's vote count? No, it can't. So what
Absolutely. Okay, I'll show you. So let's say you have person one, right? And then you have person two, three, and four. So you have four people. Like person one votes, let's say 777, and person four votes a one. Let's see what happens. Doesn't pass. So you're completely wrong. One person voting against four people doesn't pass because you need a 6.5 or above. It doesn't even come close to passing. So you can vote a 2 and it still doesn't pass. You can vote a 3 and it still doesn't pass. So you're just wrong. If you think that your vote doesn't matter and you have no power, you are literally completely wrong. And in fact, it's that what is happening right now is exactly the opposite of that, is that everybody has so much power and they've all voted to end all pay stop deadlines, to end all management, and all of the work. Everyone is choosing not to work anymore, and I am extremely upset about it. And then everyone wants maximum pay, maximum back pay, $2,490 of extra back pay. They want all of their 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 payroll. They want to get every single dime. They want all the bonuses. They want more and more and more money, and then no work. It is over. I am done with that. I want out of this. I want gone. I want to go the opposite direction. I do not want to be involved. I am forced to be involved. I'm being forced to pay this money. I am done.
Eh, no one is forcing anybody here, Jay. Nobody.
Oh,
You're
I'm
the one.
definitely
You're
being
the
forced.
one being
Until
difficult
April
on
8th, I am
yourself.
being forced. On April 8th, this will finally be
No,
over.
obviously, there is nobody that is forcing you
Then
here.
let's
You're just
compromise. What are you
you're
willing to
just
compromise?
being
What budget
difficult.
are
You're
you
just
willing to
being
compromise on?
difficult
Tell
on
me the budget.
yourself. And trust me, it's not okay. You're
Tell me the
being
budget you're
difficult on
willing to
yourself.
compromise
It's
on.
bad.
You tell me what budget you are willing to compromise on.
My suggestion is that you should just take it cool and allow people do job. It's not hard
So,
to ask.
zero compromise. That is the
Just
answer you
can
gave me.
you
Zero
can you
compromise.
do
You
it
have an
this way?
$8,000 budget. You're not willing to compromise. So
I am
don't you
not
talk me into it.
you kept on saying 8,000 naira. I never requested for you to pay me 8,000 naira. I am not a
But
thief,
that's the
Jay.
point
I
here. If
am not.
all you care about is yourself, there's no point in talking. This is a team agreement on the budget. You are one person in the budget, and that adds up together as a team to $8,000. So I am sorry that you yourself are not asking for $8,000. It doesn't matter because your money plus everybody else's money adds up to $8,000. So yes,
I am
you
not
are part of
requesting
that
that you should
$8,000.
pay me 8,000 naira, $8,000. I don't know what you're talking about, Jay. I'm not requesting for
And
8,000. How can I request for $8,000?
it's
Why?
not
What
you,
for?
it's the whole team. The whole team budget is $8,000.
You can cut it, can't you? Right? You can cut it.
Only if
I
you
don't
are
know.
willing to do it.
You're
I'm
the
asking
one
you to
proposing.
compromise and
You're
cut
the
it.
one proposing $8,000, and not the team.
No,
You're the
I
one.
am
You can
not the one proposing it.
eradicate.
I am proposing to cut everybody except for 1 to 3 people. I would say we fire everyone except for like 3 people. That's what I'm proposing. I am not proposing. I'm completely against look at the voting. Like I don't think you even looked at the information or looking at the outcomes and all this stuff. Like it's like you're not even trying. It's like you're voting against all the other budgets, and we're trying to come to compromise, right? I am voting the other way around. I am completely against the $8,000 budget. I voted a 1 on the $8,000 budget. I'm also completely against the option 2, and you can see my vote in the voting, right? And so I will share this and make sure that it's sent out to everybody. So it's not my fault if you don't even look at the voting and you don't have any idea what's going on because you're not reviewing it and looking at it. I'm spending literally
I'm
dozens and dozens of hours going
I'm
over
looking
every
at
single
it
vote,
here
figuring
and
out how to get a
both.
compromise and figuring out how to get agreement on the budget.
Jay, I'm looking at it. My question is, why you're the one that prepared the voting form, aren't you? So why bringing
Because
out eight
I
thousand
told you
dollars when you
home.
know that people are
Sandra,
gonna vote?
Sandra, stop. I need to go. Right? I had asked 10 times for someone to help me for that voting form over and over and over again. And you and everyone else choose not to do it. Now you blame me for having to do the voting form myself. That is the end of this. I am over it. It's
Have a nice
unacceptable.
day.
I'm begging you to work on the voting form and help with the budget, and you refuse to do it day after day after day. And then
I
you say it's my fault because I did the work by
Ate
myself
said she's going
before I
to
say
do it.
something really, really
Have
bad.
a nice day, Jay.
Done. I am done, Sandra. It is not okay what's going on. Not okay.